Close your eyes if you haven't already. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale in through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. Sigh it out here. Completely letting go. And completely softening into that setup that you have underneath your back. At first, your body will want to resist this setup, will want to resist this back bend. So see if you can allow your body to just hug in those blocks, those props, those blankets underneath you. You can start from the tippy toes all the way up to the crown of the head and all the way out to the fingertips. Of course, adjust in any way you might need to let go, to soften, to release. Use your exhales to guide you throughout that release. If you're tensing up, this is the moment where you should find some sort of adjustment, some sort of just shift in the body, or thoughts, or feelings. My intention this week is just taking it moment by moment, taking one task at a time on my long to-do list, not allowing it to overwhelm me and not allowing it to get me anxious about looking around the corner of what's next on my list. Instead, I'm taking my time with what task I have at hand at that moment. I encourage you to take that into your practice today too, even if you think you know where I'm going with my next cue, with my next practice, even if you're getting impatient because you're finding a pose challenging. See if you can stay with it. See if you can stay present, and if you can listen to the cue and listen to the breath and listen to the next step. Remember that whatever we learn off the mat, we can take as a lesson on the mat and vice versa. Whatever we learn in yoga, we can use it for our day-to-day lives and our day-to-day routine. Perhaps my intention doesn't resonate with you today, and that's absolutely fine. Perhaps my intention is just exactly what you need. Whatever works for you, whatever intention you're working with today, this week, this month, whatever it may be. Take your hands together over the heart or over the head into prayer, or just palm on top of palm, and set your own intention for your practice. Whether that is to be mindful and take it step by step, or whether that's something totally different. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out through the mouth. And then begin to rub the palms together. Rub the palms together fast enough and hard enough to create some heat, some energy in between the palms. When you have enough of those two, place the palms over a part of your body that needs that extra attention, that extra patience, that extra comfort today. And when you're ready, let's begin to draw the knees together into the chest. Let's begin to shift over to one side or the other so that we can roll off of those blankets, off of those props. Take the props off to the side, away from your mat, and then begin to lay on your back once again as you hug your knees in. Hug your knees into your chest and just roll from side to side as you massage the lower back. Massaging upper back, mid back here, creating circles with those knees, whether they're coming apart from one another or they're coming together into the same direction, and then reversing those circles over to the opposite side, your choice. Just noticing how your sacrum feels here, how your lower back feels. Excellent. When you're ready, begin to place the feet onto the ground, pointing the knees up towards the sky. Make sure if you do have a block, bring the block in between the thighs and squeeze that block in. If you don't have a block, that's absolutely fine. Anything else you can grab and place it in between the thighs. Track your knees right on top of your ankles. Place your palms right by the sides of your hips, palms facing down. So pressing the floor down with your palms and with your feet. Take a deep breath in to prepare. And as you exhale, begin to lift the hips up towards the sky. A little dynamic bridge here. Inhale at the top. And as you exhale, can you press your hips up towards the sky a little bit more? Lift your chin away from your chest so your neck is nice and long. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly, vertebra by vertebra, bringing the spine all the way down, tucking the tailbone in and releasing the sacrum and the low back onto the floor. We're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, lift the hips up towards the sky. Squeeze that block in. So you're really training your inner thighs to work here. You're training your glutes to work. Press the upper thighs towards the top, towards the sky, towards the top of the room. Press your hips up even more as you exhale. Take 1 more deep breath in, and then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, come all the way down. 2 more times. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, lift the hips all the way up towards the sky. Feel free to take the arms this time as well. Take the hands up towards the sky and over towards the head as you frame the head with your arms. Inhale. Press the hips up towards the sky a little bit more. And then slowly as you exhale, begin to take the hips and the hands at the same time to touch the floor all the way down. We're going to do that 1 more time. Inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, lift the hips and lift the hands, your option, if you like here, all the way up and back. Inhale at the top. And as you exhale, press the hips up. Try to create length for that neck, taking the chin away. And then as you exhale, slowly hands and hips come at the same time all the way down. Very nice. And slowly begin to release that block off to the side. If you have one in between your thighs, hug the knees in. And then roll from side to side and begin to roll front and back with enough momentum to come all the way up to a seat. As you come up to your seat, cross your legs in front of you and just round the spine as you fold forward over those shins and knees. Not coming off your sit bones just yet, to stay in your seated and just fold forward, bringing the crown of the head and your forehead all the way down towards the ground. Relax the elbows towards the floor. Relax the forearms towards the floor. They may not touch, and that's okay. You're just feeling a counter movement here for the spine after those back bends that we just did. Very nice. And then slowly let's begin to press up and stack your shoulders right on top of your hips as you're sitting nice and long here. Reach the hands up towards the sky. And as you exhale, take a side bend over to your right. Release your right hand to the floor. Bend into your right elbow. Relax that right shoulder and side bend a little deeper. Very nice. Inhale back to center. And as you exhale, take a side bend over to the left. Excellent. Same sensation. Relax that left shoulder away from the ear. Inhale back to center. And as you exhale, let's do another side bend, a little deeper this time towards the right. Bend into that right elbow a little bit more as you press the left ribs up towards the sky or the side of the room. Inhale back into center. And as you exhale, over to the opposite side. Excellent. Very nice. Relax the shoulders to create more length for the neck. Inhale to reach the hands all the way up towards the sky. And let's take a twist over to the right. So you're placing your right hand right behind you, behind your back, your sacrum. Press the floor away from you with those right fingertips or the right hand. And then take your twist a little deeper as you're turning your torso towards the side of the room. Maybe even take your gaze towards the back of the room and your chin towards your right shoulder. Maybe. Very nice. Inhale to reach the hands up towards the sky. And as you exhale, take your twist over to the opposite side. So left fingertips come behind your back. As a little prop here, press those left fingertips into the floor, lengthen the spine. And after you lengthen, then twist a little deeper. Maybe take that chin towards the back of the room over that left shoulder. Excellent, everyone. Let's come back to center. You can reach the hands all the way up, nice and tall, and then plant the hands in front of you and roll over your shins and knees this time, coming to all fours. You can always shift the hips over to one side if that feels better. And then find some organic movements of the spine here. When you're in table, it feels good to do so many different things. Maybe cat and cow, maybe just shifting the hips from side to side for a little side bend effect still. Maybe just shifting the hips all the way around into hip circles. Shifting the hips forward for your lazy up dog, or shifting the hips up and back for your downward facing dog. Whatever feels comfortable. There's no right, there's no wrong here. Is this what feels comfortable in your own body? Close your eyes, stay with your breath. There's no comparing with your neighbor. There's not even looking at me for more of a cue on what we're doing. There's nothing that we're doing here that requires alignment, that requires routine or patterns, nothing at all. If you like, take it up to your downward facing dog. Just curl your toes and then give a little stretch to the feet, to the calves, to the hamstrings, even the glutes here, taking some movements that feel comfortable to you. You can pedal the feet, bend into one knee, press the opposite heel into the floor, bend into the opposite knee, shifting the hips from side to side, noticing where the tension is hiding in your body today, what you need to work on a little extra today. Excellent. Take a deep breath in. Find some stillness in your downward facing dog. Press those heels into the floor. Press the chest towards your thighs. We're going to take the right foot up and back from your downward facing dog. Right foot comes all the way up and back, one-legged down dog, pressing all 5 toes towards the ground. So square off the hips here. Find length as you press that foot towards the back of the room. And then shift forward, hug that right knee in, round the spine as you hug it in and engage the core, and plant the foot right in between the hands. Drop the back knee to the floor, finding your low crescent lunge here. Feel free to cushion the back knee with a blanket if you need to. Very nice. As you reach the fingertips up towards the sky, stacking your shoulders right on top of your hips, notice if you're just collapsing into the front hip here. Can you shift back a little bit, engage through your inner thighs, engage through your glutes, and then shift forward, rolling that right knee on top of the right ankle. Staying nice and steady here. Very nice. Let's grab hold of the left wrist as you inhale, and as you exhale, take your side bend over to the right. Relax those shoulders away from the ears. Inhale to reach the sky, lengthen through both sides of the body. Exhale to side bend a little deeper. Excellent. Towards the right, Mary. Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. Let's come back to center, everyone. Take the hands to heart center. Send the prayer forward and take your twist over towards the right knee. So you're taking your twist, taking your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And if that's too much, you can always open up the arms into a T. Stay with your back knee grounded for now. Focus on that twist. Maybe you send the right hand back behind you, left hand away from you if that twist is too deep for you to keep the hands into prayer. Now to take an extra challenge, we're going to curl the back toes, lift the back knee off of the mat, coming into your lunge, staying with your twist. One deep breath here, you guys, and as you exhale, twist a little deeper. And let's begin to unwind into high lunge. So if your back knee is still dropped, come back to center and then curl your back toes, lift the back knee into high lunge. Take a long step forward. Find your Hastasana, Utthita Hastasana, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. Lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, trace your midline right back down, forward fold. Very nice. Uttanasana at the top of your mat. Inhale to come halfway up, long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale to take your right foot back behind you for your low lunge. Very nice. Keep engaging that right leg. Press the back thigh up towards the sky. Lengthen through the spine. Press the chest forward. Plant the hands or the fingertips to the floor as you quietly take that left foot back behind you for your downward facing dog. Excellent. Find some stillness here. Press your chest towards your thighs. Tilt the tailbone up towards the sky. Lengthen through the spine as you relax the head and lengthen through the neck. And then when you're able to, press the heels into the floor to find more length in the back of the legs. Take a deep breath in, shift forward into your plank. We're going to stay in plank to work with core. If this is challenging for you, drop down to your knees. But stay rolling shoulders right on top of wrists and keeping your hips at shoulder height. Stay with your breath, engaging the core. Take a deep breath in, let it out. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Excellent. As you inhale, shift forward into your plank, and you're going to take side plank on your right side. So right hand down to the floor, left hand up towards the sky, taking side plank at your own variation. So if you need to drop that right knee to the floor, please feel free to drop that right knee to the floor, right below your right hip. Find your variation. If you want to stack foot on top of foot, fine. If you want to walk one foot in front of the other, absolutely fine. Press the hips up towards the sky wherever you are. Reach to the left fingertips. Now let's take that left arm up and over the side of the head. Press the ribs up, taking a side bend. And then find plank at the center of your mat once again. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, drop your knees to the floor. Hug your elbows into the ribs. Bring chin and chest all the way down. Slide forward into your baby cobra. We're staying for baby cobra, everyone. Imagine that block in between your inner thighs once again, just like we did in bridge. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Squeeze the glutes together. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. And then lift the chest and lift the palms off of the mat, using your back muscles here to lengthen and then lift. Very nice. Plant the hands, curl the toes, lift the hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, let it out through the mouth. Inhale, exhale to press the chest towards the thighs as you lift those sit bones up towards the sky. One more deep breath in. Exhale to press the heels into the floor, lengthen through the back of the legs. Now inhale to take the left foot up and back behind you. All 5 toes pointing towards the ground. Find length in 3 different directions. The back leg lengthens, the bottom leg lengthens, and the spine lengthens. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, shift forward, round the spine, hug that left knee in towards the core, and then plant the foot right in between the hands. Drop the back knee to the floor. Use your blanket as a cushion here if you need to, and then lift the hands up towards the sky, stacking shoulders right on top of hips. Again, I don't want you to be or think that you are hypermobile here and really collapse forward into that hip. So you want to shift back a little bit, engage through the inner thighs, engage through the glutes, use your muscles, and then shift forward as you're stacking that left knee on top of the left ankle. Use those muscles and still energize through the legs. Grab hold of your left wrist, take a side bend, grab hold of your right wrist, take a side bend over to the left. Excellent. Very nice. Relax the shoulders, lengthen through both sides of the body, and then can you side bend a little deeper? Excellent. Very nice. Let's come back to center. Take the hands to heart center, send the prayer forward. Take your twist over to the left side, taking your right elbow to the outside of that left knee. And if this is too deep, you guys, just open up the arms into a T. Send that left hand back, right hand forward. Excellent, very nice. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist a little bit more using that length. And now we're going to come into that challenge. So curl the back toes, lift the back knee, stay with your lunge. One deep breath in, you guys. Exhale to let it out. Then slowly begin to unwind, finding your high lunge. And if you're not already there, just bend this, come back to center and lift that back knee off of the floor. Very nice. Take it a step forward. Utthita Hastasana, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. And as you exhale, trace your midline right back down. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale your left foot back behind you for your low lunge. So keep the hands grounded. Engage that back leg, lengthen through the spine. Press the chest forward. As you press the fingertips or the palms into the floor, quietly take that right foot up and back behind you for your downward facing dog. So try using your core here instead of sliding that right foot through. Nice. Deep breath in. Let it out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to shift forward into your plank. Stay in your plank. Or if this is too much, you can drop your knees to the floor. If you like a little extra challenge here, bend the knees as if you're coming into your table, but hover them up off the floor. It's more of a core strengthener and more challenging here. But again, if it's too much, you have a plank or just drop the knees fully to the ground. Stay with your breath, you guys. Don't look around the corner of what's next. You know what's coming next. So stay with it. Excellent. And lift up and back, downward facing dog. Very nice. Inhale to shift forward into your plank. We're going to find side plank on the left side. So left hand down, right hand up towards the sky this time. And again, your variation of side plank. So bend that left knee and drop it to the floor right below your left hip if you need to. Stack foot over foot or step one foot in front of the other. Press your hips up towards the sky, lengthen, take the right arm up and over the side of the head, find a side bend, and then come back into your plank, the center of your mat. Drop your knees to the floor, hug those elbows into the ribs as you shift forward, bring chin and chest all the way down, and slide forward into your baby cobra. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Don't lift your feet off of the mat. Engage and hug that imaginary block in with your inner thighs. Squeeze your glutes together as you protect the lower back to lift the palms and lift the chest and the shoulders off of the mat. Keep the gaze ahead so the neck is nice and long. Very nice. Plant the hands, curl the toes, lift the hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. 2 more. Inhale. Let it out. Deep breath in. Side out. As you inhale, you can look between the hands. You can hop, step, take multiple steps, whatever you need to reach your Uttanasana forward fold. Stay in your Uttanasana. Maybe open up the feet a little wider here. Maybe mat distance apart or just wider than hip distance apart. And allow your spine to round. Allow your torso to relax into your thighs. Bend the knees slightly, creating a little extra space behind the knees. And then shift forward and back and maybe side to side. Notice how this feels in your lower back, how this feels in the back of the knees, how this feels in the shoulders and the torso. And then slowly begin to bend the knees even more around the spine and coming slowly, vertebra by vertebra, all the way up. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky as you straighten the legs, stretching in 2 different directions, lengthen, and then release the hands to heart center. Let's bring the feet a little closer together now. Hip distance apart, not mat distance apart, hip distance apart. And then reaching the fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Let's sit back down to your Uttanasana chair pose. So bend the knees, shift your tailbone back. Make sure your knees are not touching here. You're still engaging and squeezing that imaginary block in between the thighs. You're making those legs work. Very nice. Take a deep breath in, sit a little lower. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, lift all the way up into your Uttanasana, and then release the hands to Tadasana to frame your hips. Inhale, and as you exhale, swing the arms up towards the sky and sit back down to your chair pose. Very nice. Relax the shoulders here. Lengthen through all 4 sides of the torso. Make sure your legs are working here. Try not to touch those knees. Keep shifting your tailbone back. Excellent. Sit a little lower. Take a deep breath in. Reach all the way up into your Uttanasana and then release the hands to Tadasana. Very nice. 1 more. Swing the arms all the way up and to frame your ears. Sit back down to your Uttanasana chair pose. This time, we're going to shift the weight over to the right foot and take your left foot back, finding your high lunge. So you're going to find a little balance challenge here. Very nice, everyone. It's okay if your stance is short. Just wiggle it and even place your hands to the floor if you need to. But we're going to find high lunge, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. Excellent. Take a deep breath in and then open up into your warrior 2. So keep that front knee right on top of the front ankle. Plant the back foot parallel to the back of the mat, opening up your hips to the side of the mat, and then reach the hands away from each other. Very nice. Are those inner thighs working? Are you making sure that that right knee is not shifting in towards that right toe? Make sure you're making those inner thighs work. Very nice. Reverse the front palm, reverse your warrior towards the back leg. Keep bending into the front knee here. Inhale back into warrior two. And as you exhale, find your extended side angle. And then I invite you to take your variation of extended side angle here. Maybe the right forearm is to the right thigh and reaching the left arm up and over. Maybe you take a half bind here, internally rotating that left arm and taking it behind you into your right hip crease. Maybe a full bind if you're ready for that. It might be a little too early for that. Mary, keep your right knee bent. So extended side angle is your right knee is bending, your right forearm to your right thigh, and then you're reaching your left arm up and over as you're turning your torso towards that side. Very nice. Excellent, Mary. Nice, everyone. Begin to unwind, coming all the way back up into your warrior two. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, cartwheel the hands to the floor to frame your right foot. Quietly step it back into your downward facing dog. Your choice here, you guys, if you want to stay in your down dog, if you want to take it through your vinyasa, or if you want to come into your child's pose for some rest. Find what resonates with your body, what needs your body is expressing, whatever it is that you need. I'll meet you back in downward facing dog. So take your time getting there. We're going to take a deep breath in, side out. From your downward facing dog, one more deep breath in, let it out through the mouth. As you inhale, take your right foot up and back behind you. All 5 toes are pointing towards the ground. Lengthen through all 3 sides, the spine, the back leg, the bottom leg. And then shift forward, hug that right knee in towards the midline as you round the spine. Inhale up and back, one-legged down dog once again. As you exhale, shift forward, hug that right knee, round the spine. A little momentum here. Inhale up and back, one-legged down dog. As you exhale, shift forward, hug that right knee in, and plant the foot right in between the hands. Now pivot the back foot up and into a 45-degree angle, plant it to the ground, back heel is grounded, and come all the way up into your warrior one. So hips are sort of squared off with the front now. Your hips are right below your shoulders. Back heel is grounded, back leg is working as much as the front leg. It's unfair for the front leg to do all the work, you guys. Excellent. Keep bending into the front knee right on top of the front ankle. And a little bit of a chin lift here, right? A little bit of a chest lift, not too much of a back bend, but just a little pride in our warrior one. Very nice. And now we're going to come into dynamic poses here. As you inhale, you guys, you're going to straighten out the front leg and reach the hands up towards the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to bring the arms down into cactus arms and bend into the front knee. Inhale to reach all the way up, really engaging arms and legs here. Exhale to pull down. We're going to do one more. Inhale to reach all the way up. Exhale to pull down. Stay there and take the hands behind your back. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Press the knuckles down the back leg. Keep bending into the front knee, Jean. Excellent. And then slowly find your humble warrior. As you shift forward, hinging at the hip crease, make sure that you're pressing your chest forward. So Laura, press your chest towards me, lengthen the spine. That's it. Keep that back leg engaged, you guys. That back foot will want to lift off the floor. Can you hold it accountable and strong? Very nice. One more deep breath in, and as you exhale, release the hands to the floor to frame that right foot. We're going to find a stretch here. So prepare or watch me as you're coming into the stretch. So we're going to take a step back with that left foot to find your low lunge. So come to the back ball of the foot. Excellent. And then plant the left hand to the floor. Spiral open to both outer edges of both feet. So allow your right knee to splay out and then take your right hand back behind you. You're going to basically feel this in the right glute. Very nice, everyone. Excellent. Come to the both outer edges of both feet. Don't worry about those ankles unless you have an injury, of course. And then you're going to feel it. Jules, allow that right knee to splay out. There you go. Come to the outer edge of that right foot. Very nice. And then you guys, you can come back to center, back into your low lunge. quietly, once again, step it back into your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, let it out. You can stay in down dog, maybe find another movement here, maybe a little vinyasa, your variation of vinyasa, of course, always. Or come into child's pose, get some rest, just connect with your breath, connect with your body, connect with your intention if you set one. I encourage you not to rush, not to expect what's coming next, to stay breath by breath, moment by moment, taking one step at a time down that list of what we need to do, of what we need to accomplish. I'll meet you back in downward facing dog. For those of you in child's pose, actually, you can just slide forward and come into your belly. For those of you in down dogs, shift forward into your plank and come all the way down to your belly. Before we come over to the opposite side, we're going to find a back bend here, Shavasana. So before we go anywhere, I want you to wiggle your toes even further back towards the back of your mat. So you're basically lengthening through the legs here, creating a little extra space for the lower back. And then release the hands to your sides, palms facing down. So you're framing your hips here. And do the same thing with your fingertips. You're reaching your fingertips towards the back of your mat. You're never going to reach it, but that's okay. You're just lengthening. Now inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, lift the palms, lift the feet, the kneecaps, the thighs even up off the floor. Lift the chest and the shoulders off of the floor. Keep pressing the crown of the head towards the front of the room as you're reaching your toes towards the back of the room. Allow your body to guide you here and closer to the floor and away from the floor with your long, deep breathing. One more deep breath, everyone. Think of height and length at the same time, and then release everything to the floor. You're gonna take the palms to frame the chest, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back. With your next inhale, look between the hands. You can walk the feet to the hands and allow yourself to find a forward fold here, a counter pose for your back bend. So bend your knees as much as you need to round the spine and relax the torso to your thighs. Grab opposite elbows if you like. Take the hands behind your head, interlace the fingers and drag your head towards the ground to stretch out the neck. Very nice. I can't tell you not to anticipate now because you know what's coming for the other side. But try not to rush to the next movement, perhaps. Stay with your breath, stay present until I give you that cue. You know those challenges are there. You know that balance challenge is there. You know that the breath will be challenged, the body will be challenged. Can you stay with it? Relax the hands, bend the knees even more, round the spine even more, and slowly, slowly, vertebra by vertebra, reaching up towards the sky, stretching two different directions as you straighten the legs, and then release the hands to heart center. Let's bring the feet a little closer to each other so that they're hip distance apart, parallel to one another. Excellent. Reach the hands all the way up towards the sky to frame the ears. Sit back down for your Uttanasana chair pose. Very nice. I give you a challenge here, only if you want to take it a step further. Take the hands to heart center, send the prayer forward, take a twist over to your right. When you take your twist over to your right, either stay in your Uttanasana chair pose or take your twist. But when you take your twist to the right, watch out for that left knee. It will want to kick forward and off to the side, maybe even knocking into the right knee. Can you hold it accountable and even it out along with the right so your hips are even here? Take your twist a little deeper, come back to center, lift all the way up into your Uttanasana, and then arms into Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach the hands all the way up towards the sky. As you exhale, sit back down to your Uttanasana chair pose. Again, you guys, you have an option to stay in your chair pose or take that challenge. Take the hands to heart center, send the prayer forward. Take your twist over to the left this time. Hold that right knee accountable. Make sure it's not just using the left knee as its cushion or its support. Can you press it back and even it out with the left? Evening out the hips, taking your twist a little deeper. Very nice. Let's begin to come back to center. Reach the hands up towards the sky, Uttanasana. And then Tadasana, mountain pose. Very nice. Inhale to reach the hands all the way up towards the sky. Frame your ears. Sit back down to your Uttanasana, chair pose. This time the weight shifts over to the left foot, taking your right foot back. Excellent. High lunge here. Shorten your stance if you need to. Back heel is lifted. It's okay if you lose your balance. Not to worry. Just go right back into it. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, open up warrior two. Keep bending that front knee right on top of the front ankle. That front knee will want to kind of shift towards that big toe. Can you engage your inner thighs here? Make them work and press that left knee towards your middle couple toes in the middle of your foot, right over your ankle instead. Very nice. Reverse the front palm, reverse your warrior two. Keep bending into your front knee. Inhale back into warrior two and find your extended side angle. So front forearm to front thigh, reach the right arm up and over. Maybe take a half bind here. Internally rotate that right arm and bring the right fingertips behind your left hip or left hip crease. If it's part of your practice, take a full bind if you're open enough to do that. But make sure you're creating space for the sides of the body here. Turn the torso towards the right side as much as you can. Excellent. Then slowly let's begin to unwind, coming back into warrior two. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, cartwheel the hands to the floor, find your low lunge, and then quietly take it back into your downward facing dog. Stay in down dog, come into your vinyasa, or come into your child's pose for some rest. You have a choice. Whatever else feels good and natural to your body, even if I didn't mention it just now. Give your body and your mind what it needs. Very nice. I'll meet you back in downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, let it out through the mouth. Press those heels towards the floor to find length through the back of the legs, not necessarily touching the floor, just finding length. As you inhale, left foot comes up and back behind you, all 5 toes pointing towards the ground, one-legged down dog, press back. And as you exhale, shift forward, hug that left knee in towards the midline, round the spine. Inhale, up and back. As you exhale, shift forward, hug that left knee in. One more time, inhale, up and back. As you exhale, shift forward, hug that left knee in and plant the foot right in between the hands. Pivot the back foot up and into a 45-degree angle. Find your warrior one foot pattern and then lift all the way up into your warrior one. Back heel is grounded. Back leg is engaging. You're pressing your back thigh towards the back of the room as if I'm touching you and you just don't want me to touch you. You're pressing me away. Very nice. Keep bending into the front knee right on top of the front ankle. We're coming into those dynamic movements. So as you inhale, straighten the front leg and reach the hands up towards the sky. Exhale to pull the arms down into cactus arms, bend into the front knee. Inhale to reach up, lengthen. Exhale to pull down, bend into the front knee. One more time, inhale to reach up. Exhale to bend down. Stay there, take the hands behind your back. Interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Press the knuckles down the back leg. It's just adding a little bit of a back bend here, a little chest lift. And then begin to shift forward into your humble warrior. That left hip will want to splay out to the side, you guys. Can you hug it in? Can you make that back leg engage and stay accountable? Press your chest forward, lengthen. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, let go of your interlace. Release the hands to the floor to frame your front foot. Take a small step back with your back foot to find your low lunge. So the ball of the foot is on the floor now. Heel is lifted. Now right hand will plant to the ground. You're going to spin towards your left side. So coming to both outer edges of both feet and sending your left hand back behind you. You can always just place your left hand into your inner left thigh or inner left knee, but come to both outer edges of both feet unless you have any ankle injuries here. You're going to feel this in your left thigh and your left hip. Very nice. Excellent. Slowly, let's begin to come back to center. Frame that front foot coming into your low lunge. Quietly step it back into your downward facing dog. Feel free to do whatever feels natural here for you. Find a child's pose, maybe a little more movement, maybe cat and cow, maybe downward facing dog, and staying there, whatever feels good. Excellent. For those of you in child's pose, once again, just shift forward into your belly. For those of you in downward facing dog, you can just shift forward into your plank and come all the way down to your belly. Last time we did Shavasana with palms framing the hips. This time, interlace the fingers behind your back. As you're wiggling the toes even further back towards the back of the mat, lengthening the legs, do the same thing with your knuckles. Press them towards the back of the room, pressing your shoulders away from your ears. Take a deep breath in to prepare, and then as you exhale, lift everything up off the mat. Press the toes towards the back of the room. Lengthen through the legs. Try not to collapse into your lower back here. I know it's such a temptation to do that, but lengthen and then find height and then lift up off the floor. One more deep breath, everyone. Exhale, and then slowly begin to release. You can release the hands to frame the chest. Once again, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Walk the feet to the hands to find your Uttanasana forward fold, and bend the knees so much that your torso is resting onto your thighs and you're rounding your spine. Release through the lower back here. Relax. Very nice. This time, instead of coming up into standing, we're going to open up the feet, mat distance apart, toes out, heels in, coming into our yogic squat. So bend the knees and come and sit all the way down. Bring your palms together in front of the heart and press with your elbows. Press your knees away as you're lengthening the spine here. Press your chest towards me. Most of you are facing me, so press your chest forward, lengthen. And if your heels are coming off the floor, it's okay for now. Usually if we were to stay here for much longer, we could take a blanket underneath the heels, but just press the chest forward, finding length, and press the knees away as much as you can. Very nice. And now let's begin to release the hands to the insides of the feet. Keep your right foot forward and step your left foot back, coming into a wide lunge, a wide low lunge. Excellent. Before you go anywhere, just rock forward and back here, just kind of shifting into that hip flexor, just finding a little stretch into that hip flexor. Whether those movements are slow or fast, it's up to you. Whether they're wide or just short, that's up to you. And then when you're ready, as you shift forward, drop the back knee to the floor. Wiggle the right foot all the way to the right outer edge of the mat if it's not already there. You can stay here for a low crescent lunge, a wide low crescent lunge, or you can come into your lizard pose. So your choice, if you want to drop down to your elbows, to your forearms, if you want to allow that right knee to splay out to the side. So Jules, your right foot is forward, right? So it's kind of like this. There you go. Bring your right foot forward and your left foot back. So forward at the top of your mat. And coming into your lunge. So you're going to shift forward and back like this. And then drop the back knee to the floor. Excellent. And then just allow the right knee to splay out. So you're feeling it in your hip flexor. There you go. Excellent. Very nice. Yep. Excellent. Now, for those of you in lizard, you guys, I'm going to keep you accountable here. Can you press your chest forward and not round the upper back? There you go. There's the space. That's it. We want to create space in our spine here. Can you let go through the tension that's rising wherever it might be rising? Excellent. When you're ready, let's begin to walk the hands to the center of the mat, plant the palms to the ground. If your back knee is dropped, which I think for everybody it is, curl the back toes, lift the back knee. Step that left foot to the outside of the left hand, coming into your yogic squat once again. Keep the hands as they are in the center of both feet. Left foot stays forward, right foot steps back, coming into that wide low lunge once again. Before you go anywhere, just rock forward and back, forward and back. After you've done that a couple times, then you can just stay as you are in your wide low lunge and then drop the back knee to the floor. Please cushion it if you need to. Stay in your wide low lunge or come into your lizard if you did so on the opposite side. So again, you can allow that left knee to splay out and coming even to the outer edge of the left foot. Please use props if you need to underneath your forearm. That will bring the floor a little closer to you, create a little extra space, and will give you the ability to lengthen through the spine, to not round through the upper back. It's not about getting closer to the floor. It's about creating space in our spine, creating space in our body. Press the chest forward. Lengthen. Two more deep breaths. Can you let it out through the mouth and relax the tongue in between the teeth? Take one more deep breath in. Let it out. And then slowly, let's begin to release any props off to the side. Plant the hands to the ground. Coming to your wide lunge once again. Curl the back toes, lift the back knee. This time, step it back into your downward facing dog. And just bend the knees and find your child's pose. Excellent. Very nice. From your child's pose, walk the hands towards you. You're going to come and sit up, rolling shoulders right on top of hips. Today, you guys, we're working towards a little deeper of a back bend. That's why we've been working on opening up the shoulders and back bending. So feel free to find your variation of this. Please use props if you have any. Please use the wall too if you have wall space. So we're going to come into camel, Uttanasana. So for camel, make sure that you're stacking your shoulders right on top of your hips, right on top of your knees. Feel free to curl your toes under so you're having a little extra space to reach for your heels if that's part of your practice. I'm going to do the version of my sacrum because I don't want to deep back bend so much, especially because I'm not warm. You guys have been warming up. And if you have props, you can place your props right by your feet and reach for the props instead. The idea though is wherever back bend we find, we keep pressing the hips forward right on top of those knees. That's the idea, to let off of that lower back and not collapse into the low back. So as you're here, reach the right hand up and over and bring it back into your sacrum or your prop. Press the hips forward, lengthen, come back. Reach the left hand up and over, bring into your sacrum, fingertips facing up, press your hips forward, lengthen, lift the head back, and then come back to center, reach both hands up and over, place them to your sacrum or to your props or to your heels, whatever feels good. Keep pressing your hips forward towards your knees, right on top of your knees. Can you drop your head back if that's part of your practice? Allow the mouth to open, and then slowly to come out of it, you're going to tuck the chin into the chest, round the spine, and as the knees are together, just come all the way back into your child's pose with knees together. So you're rounding the spine instead of back bending again. We're going to do that one more time. You're going to stay for 3 to 5 breaths, whatever you feel comfortable with. You're going to count your own breaths. And this time you're going to find the same variation or something different, whatever feels good to you. When you're ready, come back to it. This time we're going to lift the left hand up and over, bring it back. Right hand up and over and bring it back. When you're ready, you can bring both hands up and over, back. Keep pressing the hips towards the knees. If you were to use a wall here, you would be up against the wall, and the wall would keep you accountable because you would be wanting those hip points, those frontal hip points, to keep touching the wall. When you're ready, release the head back, allow the mouth to open. If you've already taken your 3 to 5 breaths, tuck your chin into the chest, Come all the way back into your closed knee, child's pose to round the spine and release to the floor. Very nice, everyone. Take a deep breath in through the nose, let it out with a sigh. Slowly begin to walk the hands towards you and shift the hips over to one side, swing the feet around. We're gonna come into Uttanasana, another forward fold. So feel free to sit on the edge of your blanket here, just to kind of tilt the pelvis forward and have a little more momentum, a little more height and length. Flex the feet, but it doesn't really matter if you're flexing the feet or not here, because I want you to just round the spine and fold forward. There's no lengthening here. It's just releasing through the lower back. So feet are flexed, legs are straight out in front of you, just round and fold forward. Very nice, excellent. And before we come down to our backs, I'm gonna give you a yin type of pose so that we kind of release the lower back and release the connective tissue. So as you're finishing up with your forward fold here, your Paschimottanasana, we're gonna bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet together. And usually the Baddha Konasana is bringing your feet closer to our groin, but this time we're gonna take our feet further away from our groin, creating a diamond shape in between our legs. And then you're gonna round the spine as you take your forearms underneath your calves, placing the palms up, and then reaching the forehead for the feet. And if the forehead doesn't touch the feet, it's okay. Maybe you bring a block on top of your feet and then you reach the forehead for the block. Maybe the forehead does touch the feet. This is not an effort type of pose. This is a completely different, effortless type of pose. The yin type of practice is about releasing connective tissue, which takes so much longer than releasing muscles. We're just closing our eyes here, feeling the stretch in our bodies. And our idea here, the mantra, is letting go, surrendering. Relax the shoulders. Feel gravity pulling you towards the ground. So feel heavy here. Allow yourself to feel heavy. Don't allow your muscles to contract and to pull you towards the ground. Rather, let go of any contraction of any muscle in your body. In the yin practice, you would technically stay here for a good 5 to 10 minutes. Obviously, I don't have the time for this in this practice in the vinyasa, but you can imagine what you can do with this pose in 5 to 10 minutes. It's completely releasing. Slowly, slowly, you'd be able to touch that forehead all the way down, because the spine would be stretching, because the muscles and the connective tissue would be letting go completely. Let's take one more deep breath in. Sigh it out. When you're ready, turn the palms to face the ground and then press the floor away. You can straighten out the legs in front of you. You can come and sit on this in the center of your mat if you're not already there. You can remove any props off to the side. We're going to come all the way down to our backs. As you're coming down to your backs, I recommend you find whatever works for you that you want to bring into your practice before Shavasana. Nothing active, just restorative or supportive. Maybe another twist, maybe another maybe a happy baby, maybe just hugging the knees into the chest, maybe a legs up the wall variation with a bolster or a block underneath your sacrum. Find what works for you. Nothing of effort, nothing of engaging and strengthening again. We did enough. And then when you're ready, I invite you into your version of Shavasana. If you like legs up the wall or legs up a couch or legs up a chair, please feel free to set up for that. If you like to try Just a blanket underneath, rolled up underneath the knees. Feel free to try that. If you want to come into a flat version of Supta Baddha Konasana, like we started in the beginning, but with just your back laying flat on the floor, feel free to do that. Wherever you are, allow the hands to come to the sides, palms facing up. Allow the feet to splay away from each other. Soften the kneecaps and the quads. Take a deep breath in through the nose, let it out with a sigh, and allow the mouth to stay open. Float the tongue in between the teeth. Soften your inner gaze and close your eyes if you haven't already. Surrender completely into your Shavasana, your final relaxation pose. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Begin to awaken the body by wiggling fingers and toes. You can roll wrists, you can roll ankles, you can roll the head from side to side. Take the hands back behind you, stretch the feet away from you, taking a deep stretch. When you're ready, hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice tight squeeze here, and then roll over to your right or your left, whatever feels more comfortable. Keeping your eyes closed is taking a moment to reconnect with your breath, reconnect with your body, reconnect with your intention if you set one at the beginning. Noticing what feels different, what feels the same, what feels more balanced, what doesn't. And noticing what you've learned today from your practice about yourself, that you can most likely take it with you off of your mat and keep practicing it. Keep observing it. Keeping your eyes closed as lazily as possible, press the palms into the ground, coming all the way up into a comfortable seat. Roll your shoulders over your hips, sitting nice and tall, and let's take the palms together in front of the heart. I'd like to end today's practice with a chant of Ohm, so if you'd like to join me in your own space, please feel free to do so. Take a deep breath in. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.